Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight on our Calling City Hall show. I have some very, very exciting guests with me tonight. I really appreciate Councilmember Gary Moore. Thank you for taking some time with us.
Pleasure to be here, Mayor.
This is going to be a great night. I think we've got a lot of neat things to talk about here. I have two incredible guests with me as well. I've got Jasmine with me. Thank you, Jasmine, for taking some time out of your busy schedule to be with me, and also Linda. We appreciate they're from the Salvation Army, and it gives us an opportunity this time of year to talk to somebody that just does a lot for our community and puts an awful lot of things for our community. The people that are less fortunate than we are have an opportunity at the Salvation Army to receive meals and a lot of other things, gifts and things. And so we really appreciate you coming and spending the evening with us. And it's going to be an interesting and a fun evening, I think. I saw that you have a whole bunch of pages of stuff to get through, and so
got a few things to get through. It's that time of season.
It is indeed. So I want to do that, but I want to remind our listeners and our people watching at home, if you have any questions, please give us a call, 234-6282. We will do everything we can to answer your questions. If Gary and I can't get that done, or Councilman Moore and I can't get that done, then we'll look at Jasmine, and I'm sure we'll get the right answers out of Jasmine for that. So with that being said, Linda, let's talk a little bit about you've had I don't even know where to start. You've had so many things happen in the Salvation Army.
This time of year, we have an abundance of campaigns going on right now, and every one is to help fulfill the families that are struggling right now. They can be between jobs, they could just be starting school, they could be in the middle of a move, new to the community. So it's a way to bring the community together and show that everybody's welcome and taken care of. We have, like I said, 3 or 4 different campaigns going on right now. We did just wrap up our Secret Santa program, and a lot of people will recognize that to the angel tag trees. And unfortunately, our last application day was Friday the 2nd, but we want to let people know that we are doing a second chance campaign.
So let's talk a little bit about the application for the angel tree. That application, you had an opportunity to go in, pick it up, fill it out. Mm-hmm. That ended Friday.
It did.
Now you have a second chance. Where do I get an application if I didn't know about it, or if I just...
If you were not able to get any information on the program, like I said, we are having the Second Chance program December 23rd. But you do need to come in and get this application before the 23rd.
Do you have late application assistance? Do you have it bolded on top of the page for it?
Yes, so that's identical to the ones that we have at the office.
This is what you want?
Yes, and that is going to contain all of the information that you need to bring with you to apply. You will check in with our main office, with our new director, Brandy Bennett. And for a lot of you that know, my Aunt Brenda Ames was the director for 29 years, and she is retired. She still comes and helps us out quite a bit. It's kind of hard to, walk away from something that's been your baby for so long.
Sure.
But we are proud to announce that her daughter, Brandy Bennett, has taken her position.
So Brandy did that just happen? Or, she got thrown to the wolves right in the middle of the busy season.
Right before, it's kind of rough, but like the rest of us in our family, we have been in and out of the building almost our entire lives, and Brandy has spent a lot of time in that office. She's fully qualified and very experienced.
You know what I think is really neat? You just said something that I think is neat, is it's a family thing. Mm-hmm. You've been there all of your lives, for 29 years anyway. Mm-hmm. It's been a family event. Now we've just kind of handed that down to the next generation.
Yeah, we've got
Jasmine here.
She would be about 4th generation,
which is amazing to me that it shows a passion for helping in the community.
And we've got grandmas, aunts, cousins, sisters, daughters. All the women.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's great. So it's good that Brandy's on board.
It's really great, and you can pick up these applications in her office Monday through Friday. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m.
What is the address?
Our address is 400 North 4th,
Okay.
and our hours are from 9 to noon and 1 to 3:30. Our landline number is 232-5318. And I would like to also let the community know that we have a new lieutenant in the building. She's a great lady. She kind of came in a really rough time too, right before everything started, and her name is Lieutenant Tammy Moore. But she's taken it in stride. She's been a champ. She's really taken it dead on.
It's amazing. You get in the busiest time of your year, and you've got 2 major positions. And I would guess that you haven't skipped a beat.
No, we like to say down there every day, all days, that we are a finely tuned machine.
Yeah, and that's the truth. And so, great. Anyway, so last chance application.
A second chance
A
application.
second chance. Second chance. I should have written
That sounds better
down.
than the last chance.
Last chance. Late chance.
Because we'll be back.
Second
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
is always better.
Yeah, and you can get those in our office from 9 to noon and 1 to 3:30.
Perfect.
Some of our other campaigns we have going on, everybody knows the Red Kettle. Everybody knows the bell.
Sure.
That's right.
That campaign will be running in multiple locations all over town until Christmas Eve, through Christmas Eve.
For Christmas Eve.
Some folks might have noticed some little cardboard trucks at both entrances of Walmart. That is the Fill the Truck campaign, and that can be anything from a small toy to a canned good to a non-perishable food item. Just it goes along with the Secret Santa program.
So you can go and buy a gift, any gift,
And
as
drop
you're
it in the
leaving the
box.
store. Drop it off in the truck, and do you need a receipt stuck to
No,
that?
it's completely anonymous. There are lists of needed food items that are taped to the tops of the trucks.
Okay.
But mainly, it's anything you want to do, anything that gives you your feel good.
Great,
Okay.
great. And how about bell ringers? Are you all staffed up? Got plenty of people lined up to do all of that?
Well, that's a very tough job. You know, you're out there with the elements. You're out there for many hours on end sometimes. So, if anybody would like to volunteer, that's another deal with Tammy Moore, and call us on our landline, and she'll be able to help anybody with that.
If anybody out there has an opportunity and a want to do that, it's probably one of the greatest experience they could ever
It
do.
is.
You know, I did it a couple of times. It's a little hard now. My back doesn't tolerate it very
My
well.
knees
It's really
don't.
hard on your back to stand there like that, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I actually
Getting
just
out
read
there.
a really neat article. A gentleman in Mississippi just broke the world record for bell ringing for 181 hours straight.
Really.
Oh,
No
wow.
sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, down in Mississippi. They didn't put forward what he was able to make, but 181 hours straight.
That's a pretty
But if there
impressive.
are people out there that may be interested in doing that between now and Christmas, they can call the lieutenant down there and maybe
Yes.
get hooked up to do that?
Yep, and we accept groups, high school groups, school
Great,
groups,
great.
choirs, other churches. Anything helps.
Yeah, great. That's awesome.
That's a great opportunity for a
Yeah.
lot of students that are in the National Honor Society to get some pretty good service hours that they're all in need of. So
Sure.
we'll
We
put a
actually
plug
just-
out there for that.
We had 2 gentlemen out in front of Walmart dressed up like super troopers from Star Wars, and they did very well. They were doing pictures with the kids and the parents, and they had a blast out
That's
there.
neat.
That's
neat.
good. That's
neat.
good.
And that's one of your big fundraisers at Christmas time.
It is,
right?
and that gets us through the entire year.
So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for people to contribute when they see that red pot hanging out there. Yeah, yeah, that's great.
And we've had a lot of other great groups help us with our Secret Santa program. Kelly Martinez of
yes.
Core 104, he does our 48-hour Secret Santa special every year, where he goes on air for 48 hours straight, maybe gets 3 hours of sleep. And he was able to raise, I know he's wild.
He is crazy, but he is.
But
Radio,
he's
yeah.
great,
Good
and
for him.
he is very involved with Salvation Army. This is a big thing that he looks forward to doing every single year. And he was able to raise us $7,500, and he was able to get out 181 children.
So I saw him the other day. It was interesting. Just the other day I saw him, and I said, "Hey, you just finished your campaign?" He said, "I'm so tired." He said, "I am so tired," but he said, "You have no idea how good it feels to be able to do something like that for people 48 hours of my time is nothing compared to some of just knowing that we're going to have people are going to have a good Christmas. And he was all excited. We were able to take care of this many kids, and we raised this much money. It was awesome, and he's just really excited. It was funny. I asked him, so what are you doing next? He said, I'm just going to go home and go to bed and sleep.
The before and after photos are.
they're great, but he's a rock star.
Yeah, Kelly's a good guy. He's always got something good going on.
And a couple other mentions. Gold's Gym actually put up a tree for us with 25 tags on it. Applebee's did a tree with 25 tags. Gypsy's Tattoos did 15 tags for us, and KLCE Riverbend Communications at Idaho Falls did 100 tags.
Did how many?
100 tags.
Wow, that's great. Now, are there still tags available?
All of our tags are out, actually, but those are the locations that they can find the tags at. I believe we still have over 120, 130 tags at the mall as well. And our location is in the Pine Ridge Mall in Chubbuck. We are right across from Vanity and right next door to Samuel's Jewelers.
So if you're interested in going and buying a gift for a child, you can still get a tag from the tree.
All of our trees will be up until the 11th.
Okay.
If tags do go out, they really need to be returned by Sunday the 4th by 4 p.m., and that's when the mall closes. But they can start bringing in their donations to our core building anytime.
Sunday the 4th or Sunday the 20th? When do they need to be back?
So I've got 4th at 4, which makes no sense.
Because today is right now the 8th, and if they're still up, I think I'm willing to bet you're
that
good
must be
from
some
the
kind of a typo.
Till probably the Sunday before Christmas.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Right. Yeah, this is a typo.
Yeah, I would think so.
I know what I'm thinking. That doesn't make sense.
But you have a week or two, a couple weeks actually, to go as you're doing some Christmas shopping to get a tag off of a tree. And
they can be taken back to the mall location, or they can be brought to our core building as well.
Okay. Great. And just make sure that you do that so that everybody will have an opportunity to get something. So.
And I'd also just quickly like to mention that we had 265 families this year and about 500 children. So it's been a good year, and the schools have helped me out immensely with food, because I mainly deal with the food coordination and building the family food boxes, and Jasmine helps me in the food room with dating, categorizing, and making sure we get into those super groups. And the schools have been wonderful, and the Boy Scouts food drive helped us out. That was my first come in of food of about 4,500 pounds.
Oh, that's
came
great.
in, and I'm averaging about 1,000 pounds per school. So it's been great.
That's great. Jasmine, do you get all of your friends involved as well?
Not much.
Okay. Not much.
A lot of friends.
Well, the neat thing is you've got your fellow students that you can influence on what you're doing, and you can never give enough back to a community. And so it's just what a great example you are to our community, to be able to, at such a young age, have the desire to help and be a part of a bigger cause than us.
And your good work will definitely rub off on your friends, even if you don't know it sometimes. It certainly will. It certainly will.
Absolutely. So that's neat. Thank you. So we can get the gifts still. We still have the opportunity to do that. What other campaigns do we have going right now?
Just the few right now. Like I said, we will be running the Red Cattle campaign through Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
This Saturday will be the last day, for Fill the Truck.
Okay.
And distribution days.
But I want to just make people to make sure they're aware that just because Saturday is the last day to fill the truck doesn't mean after Saturday don't buy anything and don't take it to the Salvation Army.
Right.
Yeah. You still have an opportunity. It's convenient. Buy something, drop it off at the store. Don't be afraid to buy some food, different items.
Like my super groups are going to be your green beans, your corn, broth, pumpkin, cranberry, stuffing, and stuff like that. Just anything that you can think of that you would put in your Christmas dinner is what I'm supplying the family food boxes with.
So hams, turkeys.
turkeys are taken care of this year, actually.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think that's almost a first.
It is.
I remember last year you and I had a discussion and we were a little panicked.
We were. It was getting close, but we got a generous donation this year to make sure that all of our turkeys were
That's
taken
nice.
care of.
That's great.
That's nice.
That's great.
So we need people to get out there and buy a bunch of Mrs. Kubison's dressing mix. Bring that down, right? That's our favorite.
Right.
favorite bar.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Gary knows what he's supposed to buy when he gets to the store.
My wife actually let me help do that on Thanksgiving, so I've got it. I wouldn't say I've got it down, but I could do it
in a pinch.
if I have to.
On the
That's
good
right.
old
Yeah.
box stove
Yeah.
top.
That's right.
It's a routine, it's the routine. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
to do now. Well, that's great. If you want to help, ring a bell. 232-5318 is the phone number to call. Visit with Tammy.
Tammy Moore, Lieutenant Tammy Moore.
Lieutenant Tammy Moore, and she will get you set up to help with those.
And like I said, it doesn't have to be an individual. We accept groups as well.
In fact, a group is sometimes a lot funner
It would be fun.
is.
Yeah, it would.
to do it as a group.
Like the stormtroopers, they were great.
it
They
sounds
were
like it.
phenomenal.
Sounds like it. And your NHS students, I'm telling you, need a lot of volunteer hours, and this would help them do
Well,
that.
and I've had the Eagle Scouts come in for their projects. They've been coming in. They'll be helping me this weekend actually with pickups from Indian Hills and Washington Elementaries.
Oh, that's
And they'll be
great.
helping me with the boxes and the dating and categorizing as well. I actually just signed off their paperwork, so they're good to go too.
Oh, that's good. And Jasmine, you get involved in all of these things.
Yes, I am.
That's the joy of being related to your mother, huh?
Here, there, wherever she can fit into small spaces.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Well, the Salvation Army does more than just this. This is definitely a big push. But what are some of the things we do throughout the year?
Oh, throughout the year, we just finished up the homeless stand down. Our canteen was borrowed for the stay overnight
Oh, yes.
in a box.
Yep.
The canteen was used for that. The canteen gets borrowed. We do, like I said, all the Secret Santa programs, the Christmas programs. We do daily food boxes. We can help with a little bit of assistance, but you have to make an appointment for that. We don't take walk-ins on that. But that's another, we would call Brandy Bennett, and she would set you up an appointment. We have a freeze on a couple of our vouchers right now because we're trying to renew our contracts.
Okay.
So housing, clothing, but we have a ton of jackets right now. I'd like to mention that Pocatello Cycle has done an amazing job doing a coat drive for us for the last few weeks now. I'm
Great.
picking up once or twice a week from those boxes and boxes of jackets, so those are
Wow.
available. We like the fuel vouchers, the bus vouchers. We're on a lot of freezes right now, just because it's temporary, just because we are renewing our contracts.
Sure. But you have the ability to give people jackets and stuff
Yes.
right now?
Yes, we do. Those
That's
jackets
not
are
frozen.
No, those jackets are available, and we do also do the daily food box.
Okay.
According to family size, you come in, you get into the system, you get screened, and more than likely you can get yourself a food box that's good for a week. We make
Okay,
sure those
wow.
those boxes are stocked well,
They're really
Nice.
taking you really
and it
taking care
covers
of people.
everything: the fruits, the vegetables, the starches. They get frozen meat, they get a dessert, and bread if available, milk if available. But we make sure that we're not just giving them junk,
Sure.
And with our cooks, Michael and Robert, they're great. They make sure that they get everything: fruits, veggies, proteins.
Great.
I mean, we're not just handing them McDonald's.
Sure.
We by giving to the community. Let's keep them healthy.
Absolutely.
And Robert and Michael do a wonderful job doing that.
Absolutely. Well, it's an incredible part of our community that is definitely needed, and the Salvation Army is something that if it went away, many people might not think about it, but many people, it's a life support for them. And it's such an important part of our community. So
And it's
bet.
been here you've been doing it forever. I
Yeah,
have
I bet.
memories when I was young in grade school at the Salvation Army. That was a long time ago. It's been
There
here
are
for a long
some
time.
folks that I've known down there since I was Jasmine's age. Having gone through the programs, and sometimes you only see them once a year, or you see them every couple of months. But we also get a lot of those folks that come back and pay it forward. You know, I remember when I was down, now I'm up, here I am, what can I do?
Really, that's
and
nice.
I love hearing their success stories and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well, on Christmas Day, I believe it's Christmas Day, maybe it's New Year's Day, maybe it's both. You serve a lunch down there still. You have people that volunteer to come
But yeah,
in.
we have outside groups, just like our lunch schedule is 11 o'clock Monday through Friday, and then we have groups come in on Saturday that do that as well. So Friday through or Monday through Saturday, they can come in and get a hot meal.
Get a hot meal, absolutely. My family and I have done that. I want to say it's Christmas, and how neat it is to be able to serve people.
And there was a Thanksgiving group down there
Yes.
this year as well.
Yep, and so it's neat that there are people in our community that want to reach out and help
Yeah.
and be a part of that. Once again, 232-5318. If you have a group that might want to do that on a Saturday or over a holiday, you have many opportunities to serve people.
Absolutely, and it's it doesn't stop with the kitchen. We can always use help with sorting food, dating food. There's always something.
So let's talk a little bit about sorting food. What kind of groups do you need to come in and help do that? You need a group of 10 or a group
The
of...
room isn't that big. It's actually half of our foyer.
Okay,
There's a partition that we pull forward every year, and we sort the food back there. So 4 to 5 people
all right.
is generally what I like to fit back there, so we're not running over each other or knocking over hundreds of pounds of canned food.
Yeah, that was never good to do that. What about, is there an age limit, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
16.
16. You've got to be 16. And groups
And
of 4 or
sometimes-
5.
And sometimes we still ask for supervision because they are under the age of 18. But in order to handle food, you have to be 16.
Okay. And people can come, and just like at the food bank, you can go down and do that, or do you need an appointment?
You can you would call in Tammy Moore, and she would get you in to fill out your volunteer information.
Okay. That's what a program
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
have in our community.
Well, I think it's amazing too that the need that's out there. How many people you take care of? You
It's
don't really realize it
amazing.
until you start looking a little bit. but
Well, with
the need's big.
My Aunt Brenda and my cousin Brandy just gave me their numbers today, and now I can start working on the food boxes, and the numbers are they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
We have more totals some years, lower totals some years, but the numbers they're always there. There's always somebody. There's always something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's neat to have this group just as another asset for our community. With all of the other people that are helping and doing things, we still need to reach more and more people.
And having that year-round capability is really nice amongst the other agencies that are available in town as well.
Sure.
Because one thing that we might not be able to help at, we can forward them to another agency. So
Right.
we're not just like, nope, sorry.
Well, and that's another that speaks highly of our community as well. That the agencies that are working at this, you're not territorial. If you can't help them, you find the place to get them the help,
Right.
which is so important. So if somebody's in need, they just walk into the Salvation Army. If you can't help them, you get them to where they need
You
to
bet.
go.
And the Marine Corps with Toys for Tots, our Secret Santa program tops out at 12 years old, but we make sure that those parents know that they can go to Toys for Tots and for their older children, and vice versa, that they send them to us for their 12 and younger children. We
So-
work really well with Toys for Tots.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've got a really good working relationship with the Marine Corps.
We do.
And
Yep.
doing
I
that.
just spoke actually with Philip Hartman today, and I'm good friends with his wife Melissa, so we've been in good contact. They gave us a great donation last year of art kits for the children, and they're looking at bringing us books and craft books and phonics books this year.
Sure.
Nice.
Well, it is a program that we could not live without. I mean, we've got to have that program. There's no question.
Right.
And it's a segment of our community that sometimes, unfortunately, gets forgotten and gets left. But this time of year seems to me like it's a great time. People are very happy and joyful and stuff. And sometimes we forget about the people that This is a very difficult time of year
Sure.
for some.
Sure.
It really is.
Very,
Especially
very
the ones
difficult.
with children.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so it's something that is needed. Bell ringers, if you would like to volunteer there, that's great. If you don't want to volunteer as you walk out of a store and you see one, please do not hesitate to drop
A penny.
Anything.
Right, right.
anything. I was going to say drop a couple dollars, but literally anything.
There's a lot of people out there, that have looked at that and put money in there and thought, I could do that. I had to do this. I had to be a bell ringer one year.
That's right.
There's the phone number.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They need some help. That'd be an opportunity.
It would be a great
Yeah.
opportunity. And if you ever want to feel really good about yourself, go serve somebody.
Right.
Go help somebody in need. And that's
Yeah, well, even, after our Christmas season is over, Jasmine and I pop in all the time. Whether it's just to joke around and say, hey, we're still here, talk to the cooks. We're going to be in there a lot more with Brandy being our director now, which I can't explain how excited we are for her. This job was meant for her.
Right.
She has been involved in it in so many ways that it just fits.
it's good.
So we've always got someone to talk to down there.
That's right,
So her
yeah.
and I pop in all the time and usually get put to work, but we're still
Yeah, but it still don't matter. We always visit, but do stuff. We help around just to,
clean off the
Get-
table, pick up a chair.
yeah.
So it teaches you an awful lot of things, does it not?
It does. It teaches me to, even though some people, they don't act like they need help, but they actually do need help. And it makes me feel great to help other people that are in need.
Well, and I'm sure it helps you not judge people by the way they look or by the way they act. It helps you just accept people for who they are and just being people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know where they came from or where they've been
Or what
Right.
they've been through.
You don't
Right.
know their story.
Right.
And so it's good, and sometimes people just need to talk.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if I had my opportunity, I would much rather talk to you than most adults. And so that's fantastic. I'm so glad that you do that. What a great example, literally a great example for our community.
Right. I agree.
To have such a great young lady that will go and spend your time when you could do so many other things with your time.
Yeah.
You could go and do so many other things, but you're willing to spend it there, so.
Like before we even started going back to Salvation Army, I'm like, Mom, when are we going to start going? When are we going to start going? Because I love going there and helping everybody and being with my family and helping a lot.
She's probably the only kid I know that looks forward to still getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving break, Christmas break. She's ready to get up. She wants to go.
She wants to go and wants to help. What a great example.
And what are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing today?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, I'm not even ready to get up yet.
That's right. Go back to bed. Come on.
It
No.
does suck getting up early in the morning, but I still love going.
You still love it. That's a great thing. Remember, 232-5318 is the number to call if you want to volunteer and to get out there and help. Groups are definitely needed and wanted. So thank you very much. Thank you for what you do and being a part of our community. Jasmine, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you for
amazing
having
how
us.
absolutely. It's amazing how time flies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us after the break. It's always good to have people that are excited about what they do.
It is.
And speaking of that, we've got a guy that I have gotten to know over the last year that has just been, he's so excited about what he does. He does such a great job. Richard Stewart, our Animal Services Director, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You
I'm
know,
excited.
as we were thinking about what we need to talk about and what's important, we thought, this is always a time of year that we have some issues with some animals
Definitely.
in the cold and kind of let people be aware of what these animals are going through and then just kind of give us a little report on what's happening at the shelter. We've made quite a few changes. We've had a lot of new activities and new innovative stuff coming. So why don't you let's just jump right into the middle of it if we
Okay.
can. the animal shelter. We've got, how many dogs and cats do we have? The cats are a tough one because we have a lot of them.
Yeah, we've had a lot of cats. The mayor definitely knows because every staff meeting we have, I have to give my 3 priorities. And usually my top priority is we've got a lot of cats.
We got a lot of cats.
So we've been trying to think of all kinds of different ways that we can get them adopted out or transferred out because it's overflowing. And, and normally you start to see that trickle down a little bit when we get to the colder weather. And it's slowed down a little bit, but we're still full. And so, one of the things that we've got going on right now is this weekend, this Saturday, is the Share the Love event, the Subaru Share the Love event. And the ASPCA gave us a grant, and we're doing fee-waived adoptions for cats and dogs that'll be at that event. It won't be for all of them. It'll be while we have the money to cover those fees. But then we've got our Friends Up Foundation that actually, after we've used up all that money, we'll reduce the fees so that we'll have dogs up for adoption for $75 and cats for $35. So we're really excited about that this weekend.
When we talk about this weekend, we're talking like the 10th.
The 10th, correct.
So
and that's going on at Phil Meter Subaru from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. this Saturday.
And we have an opportunity to reduce adoption fees, and if you hurry in there, there's even an opportunity for some free
Correct.
adoptions, if I
Correct.
understand.
You are correct.
And if you buy a Subaru, they'll donate $250 to the charity of your choice, which could be animal care.
Well, hopefully
That's
it'll
right.
go to our Friends Up
That's right,
Foundation.
that's right,
So
that's right.
Yeah, they really have been great. They're actually shutting down their service area, which that's a loss of money for them.
That is.
To be able to do that. So they've shut that down for an area that we can have dogs to be shown, and they've got another area in one of their displays at the front that they'll have the cats in, and we're going to have Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus there for photos. There's going to be free hot dogs and drinks, chips, cookies. I mean, it should be quite the event. We're really excited, and the hope is that we can draw people in to find their family pet. For sure.
But one thing for sure you can always count on is the Meter Group is definitely a supporter of the animal shelter.
Right.
They
love
really
animals.
are.
I mean, they even in their new Subaru store built a dog park.
Yeah.
So if you want, take your dog over there, see if it will work out with the other dog and that you're going to adopt. And
Exactly.
Heck, buy a car, they'll throw a
Yeah,
dog in
that's
for
right.
you,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the last time we did the event, one of our staff members ended up buying a car while I was there.
That's good. That's
So
good.
we joke around that it's supposed to be about us, but we
That's
really
right.
it's great. Whatever, hopefully some benefit, but that's not what they're looking for.
They're
It's-
not looking for people to do that. They're really truly trying to get these animals
Exactly.
adopted out,
Exactly.
and we have so many cats right now that need a good home.
They really do. Yeah, we've got some really great cats. And, all these animals are going to be spayed and neutered, rabies vaccinated, microchipped. So it's just, they'll get their first round of shots at least. Most of them will have 2 rounds of shots. So, and they'll be FELV tested as well. So there's just so many things that they're getting with the fee waived or reduced fees that you really can't, you don't want to miss out on it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, at a reduced rate for sure, to have an animal that's been spayed or neutered, it's a great deal anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
To start with, and so that Share the Love event.
Yeah, there's it's nice seeing there's a lot of you can see commercials for it because the Share the Love they don't just do for animals. They do a lot of different things as well, and this is their time of year that they start doing that campaign.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
It's been advertised a lot. Yeah. That's great.
So cats are up. Hopefully we can get the cat adoptions up.
That's the hope. We've stayed steady. It's not that we've lowered our adoptions. They haven't gone down. It's just we've stayed steady. It's just more come in than they do go out. And so hopefully, we'll get a lot of people doing adoptions this weekend. If not, I'll start reaching out to some of our rescue groups that hopefully have started to see less cats come into their facilities.
Well, the last thing you want to do is euthanize anything.
Exactly.
So you have a great network of partners that you can send some of these animals to that will help them, and help rescue these
Exactly.
animals, which is incredible.
Yeah, and Simply Cats being one of the big cat rescues that we've actually got an official partnership with, and I haven't called them here recently. I've been saving up my my begging essentially.
Right.
That's right.
And waiting for
Don't want to
the
go to the well too often.
exactly
Right? Yeah.
exactly. There was a point where I was calling them every week, so I feel good that I've waited a month
That's right.
That's good. That's good.
That's right.
before I've asked them again. So
They're there thinking you've lost their number.
yeah, exactly. They're probably concerned.
No, that's good. Dogs. I know that we are adopting dogs out all the time as well, but it doesn't seem like we get the number of dogs in like we do cats.
Yeah, we definitely get more cats in than we do dogs, and I think that goes to show a lot of what this community has done over the years, pushing and educating the spay-neuter programs, and I think that goes to you're starting to see some benefit from that, and it's good to see that. Now, if we can just get that with cats going, that would really help out. But we do a really good job when it comes with dogs. We get a lot of adoptions. We get a lot of transfers as well. I've got a rescue group that's asking me for dogs right now. I didn't even contact them because they're out of dogs, but I don't want to send any yet because I've got this big event this weekend.
That's right.
So I'm kind of holding off and waiting until we find out what happens, because there's been sometimes this year that we've been almost empty. Not that we're there right now. We've actually pretty full on dogs, but
So when it comes to cat population and dealing with that maybe better over time, do you have some thoughts on like a 5-year plan or something, things we could be doing different to maybe see the same results we're seeing with dogs?
I think it's one of the things that we have done is we're doing a cat license this year, and I think one of the things that cat license will do is it's kind of bringing up, I hate to say it and put it in a financial term, but bringing up the value of that pet, because I believe that people believe in the value and understand the value of a dog, but some people are a little bit more, it's a cat.
Yeah.
And so I think once people start realizing, hey, there's some value, there's some, we need to have compassion. There's some things that as an owner we should be responsible for, spay neuter, especially if they're going to be outside, because it doesn't take long. The next thing you know, you've got a litter of kittens, and then we're getting called because I've got 16 at my house. I don't know what to do.
Right.
And then they bring them to us. Yeah. And so I think that's one of the biggest things is just the license. I think that there's going to be some benefits all around with that license. And, and just continuing to get that education out there, letting people know, hey, spay neuter, and pushing that as much as possible.
Well, and we talked about licensing cats, and sometimes, in fact, I've had people jokingly say, what are you licensing a cat for? You expect it to keep this collar on, it's going to get the collar off of there and stuff like that. And so it's not a matter of having the cat collared. Why don't you explain a little bit about
what
that?
we've done with the cat license, because, that is a question that comes up, a lot of people, you can't expect a cat to keep a collar on. Some people will tell you it's dangerous for a cat to have a collar on, as much as they move around and can get caught up on stuff. And so I took that into account when we started talking about doing the license. And what the biggest tool that we have of getting animals back to their families is a microchip. And it just dawned on me, why can't we use that microchip as a license? And so what we're doing is, if your animal's already licensed, all you have to do is come in, get your cat license, and if you need a microchip, then you can come to the shelter and get a microchip through us, which we will put the license included with that microchip. And or you can go to your local vet to get that, and then just come and show us the paperwork showing that you've got a microchip. So we've taken those concerns into
Great. So if you lose your cat and it's chipped and it ends up at the shelter, you know who it belongs to.
Exactly.
Get it back.
And and that I feel that's I've said it a lot, but being fiscally responsible and whatever we can do to, one, it's a service that we provide. Let's try to get these animals back. But it's smart business on our part, because if we don't have to have that animal in our shelter, we're not spending taxpayer money to have to feed them and shelter them and pay the staff and all that. So, and altogether, everybody's happier with that scenario. Yeah. So, it's something that I think will be really beneficial for the city.
Great. Well, and you mentioned it, you just being able to get the cat back to the family. We just had an incident in Pocatello, I think, that a cat had been lost for 5 or 10 years, and all of a sudden the original family found it, and now they want their cat back, but the other family had it, and boy, what a mess that could have been resolved had we had the microchip and had we known where it belonged.
Exactly.
You can get it back to that rightful owner. And
I mean, you hear those stories all over the nation. I can think of a time where this Great Dane was stolen out of somebody's yard in New York City. We picked it up in Richmond, Virginia. 10 years later, scanned him and called the original owner. He drove down from New York to pick up his Great Dane that he hadn't seen in 10 years. That was a puppy then, and was just ecstatic because it was stolen from him.
That's amazing, isn't it?
And it's things like that really keeps us going. We don't have the greatest, easiest job, and it's things like that really motivate us and keep us going.
Well, one thing I've noticed, you brought a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of talent to our programs in Pocatello, and we've really appreciated that. Your enthusiasm is catching, I think, and you've had some great ideas. I think you've implemented some great stuff, and I wanted to ask you, maybe just get your opinion on the shelter. I mean, you've been around. How do you think we're doing?
As a community, or just the shelter
the
itself?
The community and the facility. Just kind of give us an overview of where we're at.
The shelter itself, our department. I don't want to brag too much because
brag away.
We're giving you an opportunity.
I think we do an amazing job. The staff works hard. It's not an easy job. It's definitely not a glamorous job. We have to, get in. The mayor knows he got in there and not too long ago and was cleaning some kennels, and it's a lot of work, and they work hard, and we have to grab a hold of those wins as much as possible, and they've done a really good job. I mean, I looked at the numbers before we got here. For dogs this year, we've actually been at 94% live release rate for the year.
That's great.
Which is great for an open admissions animal shelter. That's not an easy thing to do, and that goes to show all the hard work that the staff has put into the place, and volunteers as well.
And not just anybody can work at a shelter like that. I mean, you got to be a special individual to be caring, and it's not something all of us could do.
Definitely, that is for certain. It takes, I think I said it when I first got here, it takes a special breed of person to be able to do that, because the animals have to be taken care of 24 or 27 days a week, 365 days a year. Christmas, somebody's there taking care of them. So so when you're sitting at home nice and cozy on Christmas, there's somebody taking care of those animals for them. So they've done an amazing job, and I'm very proud of them, and I can't wait to see what they do with throughout the next couple of years, for sure.
It's going to be good. The shelter then's moving in a good direction. What about our community? Mm-hmm. Your assessment of the community? Are we doing what we need to help reduce the number of strays and And obviously cats we're falling short on for some reason. We keep getting 1,000 cats a month in, but I think that we can curve that a little bit as well.
You know, the community, Pocatello is a very involved community. People want to be involved, and if you can give them an outlet, there's going to be people there that want to be involved with that. Especially when you talk about animals, people are very passionate about animals.
Oh, yes.
I've got volunteers that these are volunteers that are there almost every single day. And I've got just recently we've got a vet that is volunteering her time, and she asked me how often do you want me to come? I said I'd be happy if you come once a week. She started coming 3 days a week. Next thing you know, I see her there every day, and she loves it, you know. And it's just it's amazing to see people, you know, give their time. I tell them that I'll give them a 10% raise if they make it through the year, all the time.
Pretty easy to promise that to the volunteer.
You know, it's great to see the same faces come in all the time. We love to see new faces as well, but you know, the ones that you see day in, day out, even on their bad days, they're there helping out the animals, and they're there for the animals. You know, they're not there because I asked them to be there.
Sure.
They're there for the animals, and that's great. And when we do our events, you know, it's, you know, we've got a Friends of Foundation that raises a lot of money that allow us to do more than we normally wouldn't be able to do with the Second Chance funds, and, you know, the events that they do, and it's just. It's great to see what the community does. Not saying that there's not room for improvement, because there is. You know, obviously with as many cats as we see come in.
Sure.
So.
Let me see if I can answer this. Hello, thank you for calling.
Yes. Hi, my name is Peggy Kaiser, and I was calling for the program for Calling City Hall tonight.
Yes, how are you, Peggy?
Good, good.
Good.
So, my students this year, I coach a Lego robotics team, and the focus this year is animals. I have a Lego team that wanted to work on minimizing and reducing the amount of animal abuse, and they were focusing on animals. And I'm sorry to say I tuned in. I had trouble with my computer, so I was late tuning into your program. So, we were turning about with building.
Peggy?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Are you still
I'm
there?
watching the television, so I should stop that.
Yeah, keep talking. Keep talking. We're listening.
I want you to know your Lego robotics team is always the best, though. I absolutely love what you do with those kids.
Oh my goodness, it's Mayor Blad.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hello, Mayor Blad. Yes, that's it. That's good. So we were so excited. I read about this program in the newspaper, so I'm a little late tuning in. But we had this year, the theme of the competition this year is called Animal Antics, and they're looking at relationships between, you know, humans and animals. And we have one team that's focusing on trying to reduce animal abuse and looking for ways to better protect animals that are out in the weather and such. We had a team that was looking into building, building dog houses. So just any information or any way that you feel that any of our teams, and actually, I know I'm rambling on, is I know that the Livewire Robotics, they sponsor the FLL program, and they have asked for donations from all of the teams to provide food for animals for the shelter and the Humane Society.
That's a great program,
Yeah.
and great students. You know what? It might be really neat to see if we couldn't get one of our employees from the animal shelter to come down, visit with your students about those very things.
I would love
Okay.
to do something like that, because that's a big thing that I like to push is education, because a big thing that I talk about is being proactive versus reactive, and education is a big part of being proactive, and whatever we can do to help out the kids to learn proper care for animals, that's just a win.
Robotics day at the shelter.
And that sounds fun to me.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Peggy, how long will you have your students in the class before the Christmas break?
About a week and a half. So the rest of this week and next week.
So why don't you give Richard a call, and he'll run down there. He'll visit with your class for an hour or so, or whatever they would like, and talk to him a little bit about the animals and dog houses and pet adoptions and pet protection and abuse and things like that. Can we do that?
Sure.
Why don't we do that? Give her a number for the shelter up there.
So our number at the shelter is area code 208. It's 234-6156.
Okay.
So please give me a call. I would love to speak with you and figure out a way that we can come down there and talk with them.
Great. And maybe we can think of a way that we can have our students and all of we have many robotics students working for this competition in December, that they could also help support the shelter and other projects that support the life of animals in Pocatello. So thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you. And this just kind of
Fantastic.
leads right into what we were talking about, the community and
Thank
how
you,
they
Peggy.
are with involvement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
It's just things like that
Sure.
that gives me the goosebumps.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
And you're going to love it. You go down there, you're going to love it. Peggy's so full of energy and just
Yeah.
passion is incredible. So
That's great.
you'll love doing that. Let's talk just a little bit. I mean, we got off on all this other stuff, and I apologize for that, but because I think it is very important for us to make people aware of what the animals are going through when it's cold at night. Some animals chained up. What do we need to do to protect our animals?
I think a lot of people, they think that dogs got fur. It's going to be fine when it's cold. But you can sit out there in a coat, but if you're out there for hours, you're going to get cold. Doesn't matter how fluffy that coat is. And that fur isn't quite like some of these winter coats that we have, especially your smaller coat lengths.
Short-haired?
The short-haired animals that you have out there, they get cold as soon as they walk out that door, especially if they're not used to it. My first tip that I have for people, it's my first one and it's the best one that I have, is keep your pet indoors if you can. If you're able to do it, that's the best way to keep them safe, is to keep them indoors. I know a lot of people will let the dog stay out during the fall and the summer months, but during the winter it's just, it's safer for them, and it's just it's better conditions for them to come in, especially with how cold it gets here.
Yeah, and it's getting bitter cold.
It is. And then some of the other, if you do have to leave your dog outside, what I suggest is making sure that you have a dry shelter, dog house that isn't really drafty. And you don't want a dog house that's so large that their body heat isn't able to keep the temperature what they need to have it at. But you don't want it so small that they can't get into the shelter and they don't feel comfortable. They should be able to lay down in the shelter, sit up in the shelter comfortably, because if they can't, they're not going to go in there, and so they'll just sit out in the snow, and that they won't last long that way. And the other thing you want to do is you want that shelter to be a couple inches actually off the ground. And then inside that shelter, you want to put some cedar chips or shavings in there, some straw that'll help with that insulation and help that, because essentially the way they're staying warm is their body heat is heating up the shelter. And then you also want to put something in front of that doorway, because if you just have that cold air just flowing in there, it won't make any difference if they're inside or out.
Well, you need something that they can get in and out of easily. You're not going to have a dog or be able to go and open a door by any means.
Yeah.
But have it easy enough. But,
So-
but lift it up off the ground a little bit.
Yeah, because the ground gets cold and it'll stay cold for a while. And so if you lift it up off the ground, that helps that structure so the bottom isn't staying cold all the time. And for my suggestions for the doorway is get like a heavy plastic, and you can find a lot of this stuff at like Lowe's or Cow Ranch, and get a heavy plastic flap to put over there, and it's not expensive to get something like that. Or another suggestion, I haven't seen it used, is like a waterproof burlap material to put over there. But you do those things, that dog can get cozy in there and get nice and warm. But if it gets wet or it's drafty, it's not going to make any difference. So.
If you are a dog owner and you've had an outside dog that you really haven't brought in the house, and now you're thinking that maybe that's the best thing to do, I would assume that the dog's going to adapt to that quite well. It's going to take on pretty fast that being indoors is a lot better than being out in the snow, and they're going to adapt to that quite well.
Yeah, they'll take to it pretty well. Probably better than what you want it to be.
In the springtime, you're going to have a hard time moving them out.
Exactly. They'll adapt to it, and they'll see the good life, and they're not going to want to change that.
Good.
Yeah. Some other things that I want people to take in consideration is make sure that you got plenty of food. You actually want to feed your outdoor pets more during the winter, because it takes a lot of energy to keep their body heat up, or their body temperature up. So it actually takes more food. So I suggest to feed more than what you normally do for those pets that live outside. And then the other thing that as animal services that we struggle with a lot is having available water for them. And if that water freezes over, that's not considered adequate water for them. It's now ice, and they can't drink that. Sure. And pets can get dehydrated during the winter.
Sure.
Just because they're not hot doesn't mean that they can't get dehydrated. So you want to make sure that you're regularly checking your pet's water source, and make sure that they have water that they can drink out of. There's different things that you can get. I mean, you can get fancy with, they've got heated bowls that'll make sure that it doesn't freeze over. Another suggestion when it comes to bowls is don't actually use a metal bowl during the winter. And this is something that a lot of people just don't, because they use a metal bowl throughout the year. Sure. They don't think of, but as soon as they start to drink and they get that tongue up against that metal, their tongue can stick to that bowl.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and so that can be pretty uncomfortable for them. So that's just some of the suggestions that I would do for having winter pets. Another thing to keep in mind is, you hear us during the summer constantly talking about having your dogs in cars, and a lot of people forget that it's not good to have your dog in the car during -10 temperature outside. Sure. Yeah, it might be dry in there, but it can still if you leave them in there for a while, they can still actually pass away from being so cold. Yeah. So it's definitely something to think about when you're going out. If you're just running the grocery store, to grab that bag of chips and soda, that'll probably be fine. But if you're going in there for the full-blown 3-hour grocery shopping, that might not be the good idea. Yeah.
Well, and I hate to cut you off.
I got more.
And the problem is I really truly wasted that first part of it. I wanted to talk about the animals and try to get them adopted and stuff. But it is important to know that in the wintertime, these animals are like us. They get cold, and so we need to make sure we take care of them. Thank you very much for joining us tonight and for sticking with us. It's always a pleasure to have great people working for the city. And Richard, thank you for everything you're doing for the animal shelter. It's
thank
great.
You. I appreciate it.
And Councilman Moore, thank you for being here tonight with us. We
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank you.